In this video, we'll try to solve another coding interview question, that is finding the greatest common divisor or highest common factor of a given two numbers. First, we need to understand what is a factor. Suppose you take a number n, and from 1 to n minus 1, if any one of the number is divisible with that number, then it is called as a factor. Example, you take 6. So 1, 2, 3 are called factors of 6. So like that, we need to first find out what are the common factors of the given two numbers, and in this one, what is the greatest common factor or highest common factor or greatest common divisor. First, let us understand the logic. Let us say here I have taken number 15 and then number 20. So first we need to understand what are the factors of 1. The factors of number is 1, 3, 5. And the factors of 20 is 1, 2, 4, 5 and 10. So if you can look at what is the common factor in this is, these are the two common factors, 1 and then 5 and then 1 and then 5 here. So but we need to find out the highest common factor, which is also called as greatest common divisor. So now in this it is very clear, the highest one is 5. Now if you look at the logic, now within these two numbers, we don't find any factor above 15, right? So we need to check the highest common factor is always below this minimum of these two numbers. So what we have to do is we don't need to check the factors above 15 here in this case. So whatever the common factors, we need to check in reverse order because it is the highest common factor or greatest common divisor we need to find out. So what we need to do is first we need to identify what is the minimum of these two. From this minimum, in a reverse order, we need to decrement and then check any number which is divisible by both of this, then directly it is a highest common divisor because we need to check the highest one, not the lowest one. In these two numbers, if we don't find any greatest common divisor, then by default 1 will be called as highest common factor or greatest common divisor. So if you are not finding any number, then 1 is a highest common factor. So now let us try to write the code for this. Hey, thanks for watching our content so far. If you are new to Training Mark, we're the fastest growing technology training company and create content to help freshers like you to master the disruptive technologies like full stack development, AML, cloud, DevOps, etc. If you like the content so far, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon not to miss any new content from us. Like and share this video with all your friends. Let's build your career and the community together. Now, here I have taken a class, greatest common divisor. Now, I'm writing a method, public static int, and I'm calling it as GCD of taking two numbers. So, whatever the numbers we need to calculate, we will pass that. So, what I'm doing here is, I'm now initializing int minimum is equal to 0 initially. Here I'm checking which is the minimum in number 1 and then number 2. So, if number 1 is less than number 2, then I'm initializing number 1 to the min value, else I'm initializing number 2 to the min value. So, I'm just finding out what is the minimum number. Now, I'm writing a for loop. So, initializing I to min. So, what is the minimum number? And then I greater than or equal to 1. Then I minus minus. So, we need to do a reverse looping, right? So, now if number 1 divisible by I equal to 0, I number 2 divisible by I, the remainder I, equals to 0. So, then we need to say that I is the greatest common divisor and then we are returning it. Else if the entire loop is running and then nothing is divisible, then we need to say return 1 because 1 will become the greatest common divisor. So, now I'm just closing this method. So, now here let us test this by taking some input. So, I'm taking my scanner class, scanner is equal to new scanner of system.in. Then I'm writing an out statement. I'll say enter number 1. Then here integer number 1 is equal to scanner.nextInt. Then similarly, I'm asking enter number 2. Then taking integer number 2 is equal to scanner.nextInt. And then directly checking the GCD of plus number 1 plus int plus number 2 is plus I'm directly calling the GCD by passing the number 1, comma, number 2. Alright. So now let me run this. Now here I'm entering the input, entering number 15 and then 20. So I should get the greatest common divisor is 5. So you can check with different combinations to test whether logic is correct or not.